Hello and welcome back to another part of our PRCA special episode, Trainer Spotlight, Insights from our PRCA trainers. In this series, we'll shine the light on the incredible expertise behind some of our wonderful trainers at the PRCA. Each episode is packed with insights and practical advice from the people who help shape the future of PR and communications. I'm Souha Khairallah, the Talent and Development Director at PRCA, your host for today. And this time around, we have another one of our wonderful trainers, Jane Fordham. Jane, as Hanbury's head of people, is a partner and board member with responsibility for attracting and retaining Hanbury team members and driving culture for this fast-growth public affairs and communications consultancy. Her early career was spent leading technology and corporate communications programs, including 15 years at global PR agency Golin, where she led the people and inclusion strategy for the 150-strong London team. Between leaving Golin and joining Hanbury, she was a cultural and inclusion consultant. So good to have you with us today, Jane.
Hi.
I'm very excited to have you sharing your journey and tips. I mean, this bio, by the way, there's so much more that could have been added because you've done so much.
Yes, I'm so old and seasoned and mature.
Absolutely not. No, it was tough to condense it. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm just going to have a nice, lovely chat with you, which is wonderful.
I am very much looking forward to this.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's start by talking about your career. Can you tell us about what inspired you to become a PRCA trainer and how your experiences led you here?
Sure. So actually, I've realised it was exactly 7 years ago that I'd posted on LinkedIn that I was leaving Golin after 15 years.
Oh my God. Wow, I can't believe it.
I know. It was March. So, to consult on people, culture and inclusion. And the very first person to get in touch with me was the late Francis Ingham, then PRCA DG. And he said, "Oh, we'd love to have you as a trainer. You'd be great." Oh, okay. So that was the route. That was how I arrived here. In terms of experiences, I'd been at 2 different agencies and had around 18 years experience in comms by that point. Half of that, as you said in your intro, was running teams and B2B accounts, campaigns for brands like Tetra Pak, Oracle and Orange. And then I'd moved into talent management and marketing, so an unusual but brilliant combination, and had honed this real passion for recruitment, culture and inclusion. So I have to say, although a lot of that was sort of an accidental squiggly career path, now I've spent a few years doing training for PRCA. I have found it really useful to have that combination of the coalface comms background coupled with the kind of people leadership exposure, and with 5-6 years at Hanbury as well, I've still got that sort of current coalface, agency comms exposure. So that combination, has hopefully led to a nice balanced mix. And the last thing I'm going to say there is I always learn an absolute ton in every training session that I'm doing as well. So it's always additive, and I become a stronger person because of that exchange.
That's so nice. And I think what you do, like, things are changing all the time, evolving all the time. So much is happening. So yeah, there's a lot there. But you've got amazing experience, and it's also practical, which I love, and things that people can take away. We'll talk about that a bit later. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Speaking of your career, what's the most memorable project or campaign that you've worked on, and why does it continue to resonate with you?
So I have trouble being brief, Souha, but I will do my very best. I picked out 3 different pieces of work, actually, that really resonated. So back in the dark ages, when I was a comms consultant, I used to really love international pieces of work. So for brands like BEA Systems, who was acquired by Oracle probably a very long time ago, or Tetra Pak, we used to be responsible for cross-border pieces of work for them, which I found fascinating, or the agency hub. So we'd be bringing together strategies or pieces of content, or we'd be organising events or press tours for, global press corps. And it was those sorts of events that used to make me leap out of bed. There's one in particular I remember for Tetra Pak. We were going to Modena in Italy, and they
Nice.
had an awesome R&D facility there. So it's fascinating, kind of scientifically and
Yeah.
technologically speaking. But we also fitted in a balsamic vinegar tour and a tour of the Ferrari Museum. So
Oh,
for many reasons, that type of work. And I
yeah.
just found it such a melting pot dealing with people from around the world. It was really inspiring. So that is memory number one. Um, Memory number two, and kind of highlight, is you have been very kind to have had me participate in the PRCA 2-day Leadership Academy
Yes. Yes.
a
Love
number of
doing that with
times
you.
over the year. It's such a great course, such
Yeah.
a great design, and you're brilliant at continually evolving, kind of based on feedback, so the content stays relevant. But there's a wonderful eclectic group of individuals. A 2-day residential course with around 6 different trainers or 6 different sessions.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's top and tailed with some coaching so that you personalize the long tail of that learning. And I
Exactly.
have to say, it's such great fun, but that lovely balance of different subject matter and different exposures to a range of trainers, being somewhere physically away and getting the opportunity to do that in a cohort and to let all of the learnings kind of percolate. Yeah, it's a standout one for me.
Oh, thank you.
And then finally, bringing together two of my passions, inclusion and personal development. Again, it's all happening in March. Last March at Hanbury, we hosted our first ever International Women's Day speed mentoring. And we
Amazing.
had 20 something world-class mentors from Hanbury and from our wider little black book, and 40 something mentees.
Wow.
Um,
That is
and
huge.
it was a feat of organizing, and it was organized chaos on the night, but there was just this sort of halo glow of positivity and kind of, in it togetherness. And I've absolutely no doubt, as is always the way with brilliant mentoring, the mentors learn as much as the mentees. So
So
yeah, that's my
nice.
my third standout.
Oh, I love it. It's all very different, but all amazing and all kind of have that really like important kind of personal touch to them, where it's such the culture, the international side, and like on the 2-day leadership academy, I do feel like it's quite therapeutic for everyone who's there. Everyone shares a lot, it's so practical. So yeah, I see commonality in everything that you talked about, which is wonderful. So finally, for our listeners who might be considering attending one of your courses, can you highlight 3 key takeaways that they'll be able to apply immediately after completing your training?
Right. Okay. So my signature course, if you like, is the 1-day exemplary people management.
Yes, which is so
Really,
popular.
oh,
Very,
I,
very
I,
popular.
I still love it after all these years as well. And I think it's important because so often people are promoted because they're good at their craft.
Yes.
But they remain untrained in the science and the art of leadership and people management. So, 3 key takeaways. There's always such an incredibly personalized level of takeaway and learning, but commonly you'll find a heightened level of self-awareness. So, who you
Yes.
are and where you are in terms of today as a people leader. You will be equipped with tools to be able to more accurately diagnose and then tailor your management style according to the human and the situation in front of you. And then lastly, again, it does feel like another sort of warm collective hug. By the end of it, people are invariably reassured about their natural intuition. Okay, they may not have been trained before and they've got some structure and some frameworks there, but they tend to be relatively reassured about where they've started intuitively and grown in confidence in terms of their competencies as people leaders, and they will have had the space and freedom to hone those strategies. It might be that they rediscover things that they thought worked for them and actually they're more confident and they then own that. It might be that it's structures and frameworks they've heard from me that they've not heard before. Or equally, and this is the power of group training, it could be a little nugget that is shared by somebody else in the cohort that
Yeah.
brings together those 3 strands for yeah, long-term learning.
Amazing. And I do believe like our training, we try as much as we can because of our trainers and who we are to make it safe and make sure that it's a really comfortable environment. I think with people skills and all those like skills, that's so crucial, so important to create an environment where people can share what they're going through and learn from each other and not feel alone.
We will laugh.
Very important.
Occasionally cry.
It's okay. It's all part of it, right? That's how you progress, learn. So yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was great. Exactly what I needed. So thank you, Jane, for giving us a glimpse into your incredible career and sharing such practical advice. It's been a real privilege to hear from you today. And to our listeners, if you're feeling inspired and want to sharpen your skills, check out the full range of PRCA training courses on our website. You can find the link on the podcast notes. You'll find Jane's courses and many others designed to take your career to the next level. And you can bring any of Jane's sessions in-house for the whole team. That's all for today's episode. Join us next time for another session of insights and expertise. Goodbye for now.
Bye.